Few more things which I would like to mention about the FIR, that when some offenses are of cognizable nature, when some of the offenses are of non-cognizable offenses, in that case the offense must be investigated by the IO, treating it as a cognizable offense. This is provided under CRPC. So he has to treat such offenses, that the offense, one person accused has committed cognizable offense as well as non, then he has to treat this as a whole as a cognizable offense, and he has to investigate the same. And another question arises whether FIR can be treated as evidence. Obviously no, because FIR is only information given by the informant so as to register FIR. This information can be corroborated or contradicted. However, this itself is not an evidence under Indian Evidence Act. This cannot be treated, therefore it cannot be treated as evidence. Another question arises if there is a delay in registering FIR. Because why? If the offense is committed today, if it comes within the knowledge of the person, aggrieved person, then immediately the action supposed to be taken by him is that he should rush the police station and to register a FIR. Naturally, this is naturally. But if it takes some time like 5 months, 6 months, etc., 5 days, 10 days, etc., in that case, there is a delay. Therefore, either police will not register a FIR, or if it is registered FIR, if it is registered, then the delay so caused need to be properly explained during the trial. Otherwise, it will be fatal to the prosecution, and the prosecution may lose its case due to this unexplained delay in registering FIR. However, one case which I would like to mention here specifically, in some of the cases delay can be condoned, and delay can be ignored for obvious reasons. For example, in Shrikant versus Anuradha, a girl below the age of 18 years, she was less than 16 years, she was raped, she was a student, she was raped by the person, and she became pregnant, and her mother came to know after some months, 5 months, 6 months, because she did not tell the same thing to her mother, because she never complained to the police, neither she mentioned the same to mother. Then mother came to know that her daughter is pregnant. In that case, she has registered FIR, and there was a delay of 6 months, still the police officer has registered FIR. Then coming late to police station in such a cases can be justified, because the child is not supposed to tell immediately. Child is not supposed to launch the FIR or register the FIR immediately. Therefore, in such a cases, delay can be understood and can be justified. You can note down the case Shrikant versus Anuradha. Now another aspect which I would like to discuss here with you, that some of the offenses under Prevention of Atrocities Against the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Act, such kind of offenses, for such kind of offenses, if police officer has not registered FIR, SP has not taken any action, commissioner has not taken any action, then private complaint can be filed. But this private complaint cannot be filed before the magistrate, because special magistrate is appointed for that purpose, special court is appointed for that purpose, and the special court or judge is session judge. Therefore, the hearing should be conducted, cognizance should be taken by only special judge, that is sessions court in this case, and no magistrate can conduct such a proceedings. One more thing I would like to add here, in some of the states in India, judicial magistrates second class are empowered to conduct the proceedings of 156 subsection 3. They can hear the petition, because the powers have also been given to them under CRPC. Whereas in Maharashtra and many states, there is no such a post of judicial magistrate second class. Only there is a post of judicial magistrate first class, who are empowered to take petition or hear the petition under section 156 subsection 3. Now another thing, if FIR is registered, the copy is so registered because it is in the prescribed format of the state government, and state government may change from time to time. That information may be given by the complainant in the oral form or in the written form or through email, etc. Then that has to be given in the writing, that has to be signed by the complainant. Then immediately police officer has to give a copy of FIR to the informant free of charge. Similarly, one copy of the same should be forwarded to the concerned magistrate. One copy should be kept by the police station and one copy should be given by the police to accused. And there is also judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court of India which says that the copy of FIR should be made available on its website, that too within the span of 24 hours from the registration of FIR. Sometimes it happens that if private complaint is filed under section 156 subsection 3 of CRPC, but the magistrate has come to a conclusion and after subjective satisfaction that the offense is not cognizable, then direction cannot be given under section 156 subsection 3. But because the offense so committed are of non-cognizable nature, in that case no FIR can be registered. Therefore the magistrate can take cognizance of the same under section 190 of CRPC and read with section 202 and can issue the process to the accused, applying his judicial mind under section 202 of CRPC. This thing I have already covered. I think investigation, so far as investigation is concerned, neither the magistrate can direct or mandate the manner in which the investigation should be carried out or done, because it is zone of the police officer. Therefore magistrate has no power to direct the manner or particular manner in which the investigation should be done. Magistrate cannot desire so, because it is the task and power or zone or ambit of the police officer who is executive in nature, whereas the judicial officer JMFC is part of judiciary. However, being a JMFC, he is empowered to monitor the offense, monitor the investigation being carried out, because the investigation so carried out must be fair, impartial, independent. One more thing which I would like to cite here: if the agreed party feels that FIR is not registered, then definitely he has to go to the SP or commissioner, or thereafter he has to file private complaint. Even without filing private complaint, the aggrieved person can directly go to the concerned Honorable High Court and can file a writ of mandamus seeking direction from the Honorable High Court to direct the police officer to register FIR and to do investigation. Because the registration of FIR is public duty. Surely it is public duty. Therefore, if the information provided by the informant reveals cognizable offense is committed out, in that case, intentionally, willfully, if the officer has not done, or negligently, he is doing negligency, or he might have taken the bribe from the politician or from the accused, whoever he may be, like businessman, developer, politician, etc. In that case, he will not register FIR. In that case, party can always go to the Honorable High Court, can file a writ of mandamus before Honorable High Court under Article 226 of the Constitution of India. However, court can check, because the writ jurisdiction has to be rarely exhausted, and there is already guidelines, and it is settled principle that if the alternate remedy is available to the petitioner, then he has to request that remedy. For example, in this case, the alternate remedy is available to the petitioner to file petition or private complaint under section 156 subsection 3. However, to protect his right, if it is so urgent, and to protect his fundamental right, or the matter is so serious, or to advance the justice quickly, if Honorable High Court feels that the petition should be entertained, then writ petition can be entertained by the High Court, even if there is no private complaint filed by the petitioner under section 156 subsection 3. but it is in exceptional cases the High Court can entertain such a petition, and it is the discretion of the Honorable High Court to entertain such a petition because alternate remedy is already provided. Therefore, that is supposed to be exhausted. The High Court should not be burdened because if it is done, then what will happen? Number of people, they will not file a private complaint before the magistrate. They will all rush to the Honorable High Court. They will file all writ, and the number of cases in the High Court will grow up, etc. To avoid that, therefore, it is subtle principle that if alternate remedy is available, then that has to be recourse. However, in exceptional cases, to advance the justice, speedy justice, Honorable High Court can entertain writ petition also. Now, what happens if the magistrate has taken cognizance and directed the police to register FIR and to do investigation? Then the remedy available to the accused is he can go for quashing, or he can challenge the order of the magistrate before the Honorable Sessions Court under section 397 of the CRPC, that is criminal revision. Likewise, if the complainant files the complaint before the magistrate under section 156, and that is after hearing is done and the case is dismissed, private complaint is dismissed, then the remedy available to the aggrieved person, complainant, is to file criminal revision under section 397 of CRPC. 397 of CRPC before the Sessions Court against the impugned order of the magistrate. Hopefully, I have covered many things. If anything remains, I may add the same at later stage. Thanks you are hearing to me. It encourages me to deliver more speeches and to share my knowledge. Thanks to hear me, Advocate Shahid Ali Ansari from High Court, Bombay.